Hey guys, today I wanted to do a video about how I do water changes and how I go on vacation and prepare for that. As you all know, I do have a lot of baby axolotls in tubs, and when I'm on vacation, I can't do daily water changes on them, which can be fatal. So what I do instead is I pre-cycle tanks before I leave, and then I transfer the axolotl babies into the tanks while I'm gone. And what I use for a food source for them, because they need fed more frequently than adults do, is I will put blackworms that are alive into the tank so that they can eat them and they won't foul up the water by dying, as they can live in water for a long period of time. Now, when it comes to doing huge water changes on tanks such as my 300-gallon and other tanks like that, I mean, it's a lot of water, and using buckets is just so much work, and I don't have a water python. So what I do is I bring the hose inside and I fill them all up using that, and I add the water dechlorinator before and a little bit after, just to, make sure that the water is dechlorinated and doesn't destroy my cycles. I do water changes of about 20% every week on every single tank. If the tank is overstocked, I'll do it maybe twice or 3 times a week, depending on the bio load of everything in it. When I go on vacation, I do a 50% water change on most all my tanks, just because if there is a problem with water quality all of a sudden and there's an ammonia spike or a nitrate spike, I won't be able to get to it. I'm gone. I want to make sure that this is very, very clean water and I'm not leaving them with high nitrates, and that most of the waste in the tank is completely gone. I do clean out the filters right before vacation as well, just to get rid of some of that organic matter that is in there decaying. I just squeeze out the filters in old tank water as I'm doing the water changes, and I do the water changes by hand with buckets, and I scoop the water out by hand as well. I do have siphons, but I do not like to use them, and I find it so much better to use buckets. I know many disagree, but that's just what works for me. As for feeding on vacation, the blackworms, as I said, for the babies work very well. However, for adults, worms will only last a day, maybe 2 if you're very lucky, in the tanks. So instead, I just feed them a ton of food before I go on vacation, which is also a reason I do huge water changes before vacation. And then I feed them one last time before I leave. If I'm going to be gone for more than 3 days, I do have somebody come to the house, and I will tell them exactly how many pellets to give them. With smaller babies that are not eating blackworms and are not eating pellets, I would put them into a very large container with daphnia as their food source. You can usually find daphnia on eBay. There are other websites too that you can find them on, and you just rinse them through a mesh net, and then you put them in with the babies. Make sure that they're in huge containers, but no filters, because the filters can either suck up the babies, or if it's a sponge filter, those will suck up the daphnia.